Hey guys, welcome back to Coach All Writes. For today's video, we're going to be talking about how to write a quick, effective introduction for a synthesis essay. For timed essays, it can be very difficult for students to feel like they have enough time to develop an introduction. They want to focus on those body paragraphs. And while that is completely understandable, I wanted to give you guys a couple tips that will help you quickly develop your introduction. That way it doesn't feel like you're just starting your essay with a thesis. In one of my recent videos about how to write an effective claim, I talked about how to set parameters. So parameters are basically stipulations that help you narrow down and specify your argument. One way to do this in your introduction is to actually define your topic. So for instance, in previous years, the College Board has given students prompts about wind farms or eminent domain, and you can actually define those terms in your introduction. And part of the reason why this can actually be very helpful is because it's a choice that you are making. So for rhetorical analysis, you study the choices that other writers make, but when you write your own essay, you get to make those choices. So defining the topic to really make sure your reader understands what you're talking about can be very helpful. So you'll see an example sentence here. Basically, you start with the topic, in this case, wind farms, and then you put a comma, you include the definition, and then you have another comma, and then you finish your sentence. So this can actually help you improve your syntax as well. The next step is to provide a bit of context. Ask yourself, why are we really talking about this issue in the first place? Why is this issue relevant? Why is it a point of conversation in society today? So even if it's a topic that you're not personally familiar with, you can still gather that information from the prompt and the sources. Something else that you might consider doing before you actually write your thesis is to explain both sides of the issue. Explain both positions. Now, you can't end there. You do have to have a thesis. And that's because if you explain both sides but don't actually assert a position, you've just equivocated. Basically, that means that you haven't actually taken a stance. So if you're going to explain both sides, that's perfectly okay, but just know that you can't stop there. You have to then move on to your thesis. For most students, the thesis statement is going to be the last sentence of the introduction. So you're going to assert a position that you later prove in your body paragraphs. So oftentimes, to make a stronger thesis statement, it helps if you start your thesis statement with a dependent clause. So this could be words like although, when, while, things like that. It just makes for a more complex sentence, which tends to read better. My own students tend to be fans of the counter-argument thesis statement, so I've included a couple very quick sentence frames here so you can see what that looks like. If you're a teacher and you want access to my sentence frames, check the description box below. I'll include a link for you guys. Now let's look at how to put it all together. So here is sort of a template that you can use as inspiration. Remember that some of these parts might not fit your essay or your aesthetic, so you could opt to omit them from your actual paragraph. And it might seem like this is a lot longer than you intended to write as far as an intro, but keep in mind that with practice, this becomes a lot easier. If you found this video helpful, please do me a huge favor, hit that thumbs up button because liking the video will let other teachers and students know that this video could benefit them as well. Also, don't forget to check that you are subscribed with your notifications turned on. And until next time, guys, happy writing!